I was 25 when I finally bought my own place. It wasn't much, but it was mine. And after everything it took to get there, that was enough. For the first time in a long time, I felt like I could breathe again. The first few days were normal. Unpacking, cleaning, fixing little things. The house felt old but harmless, quiet, almost comforting. Except for one thing. The attic door kept ending up slightly open. I knew I'd shut it. Still, I brushed it off. Old houses do weird things, at least that's what I told myself. That night, I heard something above me. Not a bang, not anything sudden. Just slow, careful movement. The wood creaked overhead. Then came a soft step. Then another. I stayed still and listened. I told myself it was the house settling. Pipes, wood, nothing else. I closed my eyes and whispered, "Tomorrow." The next morning, everything felt normal again. Sunlight came through the window. The house seemed smaller in daylight, less threatening. I almost felt stupid for letting it get to me. But I still went to check the attic. It was silent up there. Dust covered everything. Broken chairs, old boxes, torn fabric. The air felt thick, like no one had been up there in years. Then I saw something in the dust. Footprints, small, barefoot, fresh, too fresh. I crouched down and stared at them. They weren't mine. I followed them slowly, one after another. They crossed the attic floor, and then stopped, right above my bedroom. They didn't fade. They didn't turn back. They just ended there. That was the moment I stopped making excuses. That night, I couldn't settle down. I kept seeing those footprints in my head. So I got up and went to the kitchen. I opened the fridge. Cold light spilled across the room. I stood there for a second, half awake. Then I closed the door and saw her. A small figure in the corner, wearing a white nightgown. The hem was stained dark with dirt. Her hair hung over her face. One foot pointed at a strange angle in the shadows, and she stood so still it felt wrong, like she was gripping it. She wasn't looking at me. She was facing the wall, like she was hiding or listening. I reached for the switch, turned the light on. She was gone. I checked the kitchen, behind the table, by the sink, near the back door. Nothing. No footsteps, no voice. Just the hum of the refrigerator. I went back to my room, locked the door, lay down on the bed, and kept staring at the closet. I told myself I was being stupid. Then something moved beside the bed. A shadow, fast and low. It crossed the floor and slipped into the closet. Every muscle in my body tightened. I sat up slowly. My eyes never left the closet door. Then I heard it. A dry scratching sound, soft, uneven, like fingernails dragging over wood. I stood up. My knees felt weak. I took one step, then another. The closet door was slightly open now. I knew it had been shut. I reached for the handle. My fingers trembled. I hesitated, then pulled it open. Only darkness. Clothes hanging still. No movement, no sound. I leaned in a little closer, held my breath, and listened. Then, a warm breath touched my ear. So close it felt wet. I jerked back and spun around. Nothing was there. I slammed the closet shut, stepped back, sat on the edge of the bed, and stayed there until dawn. At some point, exhaustion took over. When I woke up, the room was full of sunlight. Everything looked ordinary. The closet was closed. The room was quiet. For a second, I almost laughed. It all felt ridiculous, like I'd let fear get the better of me. That feeling lasted maybe 3 seconds. Then I saw the attic door. It was open again. I stood there staring at it. Then I climbed up, slowly, carefully. The attic looked the same as before. Old boxes, broken furniture, dust, silence. But this time, something else caught my eye. A photo album on the floor. Old, dusty. Left out in the open, I picked it up, brushed off the cover, opened it. A family, a man, a woman, and a little girl, all smiling. I turned the page. She was there again. And again. In every photo. Always in the same white nightgown. Always smiling. But the longer I looked, the more wrong it felt. In one photo, she wasn't looking at the camera. She was staring off to the side, at someone standing outside the frame. In the next one, she was closer. In the next, closer still. Then I turned another page, and my stomach dropped. The photo wasn't old. The colors were newer. The room in the picture was mine. My bed, my closet, and in the corner, her, standing there, facing the camera, waiting. I dropped the album. A loud crash came from the kitchen below. Glass shattered. I went downstairs, slowly. The kitchen was empty. A cup lay shattered on the floor. No open window, no draft, no reason for it to fall. I backed out of the kitchen and went back to my room. The closet doors were open, wide open. She was standing inside. Her back was turned to me. Still. Something about her proportions felt off. Her arms seemed too low in the dark. Then her head slowly tilted to one side, then farther and farther still, too slowly, too smoothly. Then the movement stopped. A soft click broke the silence, and her head snapped upright. Her shoulders twitched, her fingers slowly curled at her sides. Then she turned, all at once. Her face was wrong. Her eyes were too wide. Her skin looked pale in the dark, and her mouth started stretching into a smile that didn't feel human. Wider and wider. Then she screamed and rushed straight at me. Everything went black. I woke up on the floor. Morning light. My head was pounding. The room was empty. The closet was shut. Nothing looked disturbed, like the house was pretending. I didn't check the closet. I didn't look under the bed. I just started packing. Fast. Clothes, bags, keys, anything I could carry. By the time I loaded the car, it was already getting dark. I should have left right then, but I went back inside, just to make sure I hadn't left anything behind. The house felt wrong in a way I can't explain. Not loud, not active, just waiting. I checked the kitchen, the living room, the hallway. Nothing. Then, for one brief moment, everything felt normal again. The silence softened. The pressure in my chest eased. I even thought, maybe I'm finally out. Then I turned toward the door. It slammed shut right in front of me. I grabbed the handle, pulled hard. It didn't move. I pulled again, harder this time. Still nothing. Then the lights went out. The whole house dropped into darkness. I stopped breathing. Somewhere behind me, I heard the soft drag of a foot across the floor, then another, slow, unhurried, getting closer. I turned. At first I couldn't see anything. Then a shape peeled itself out of the dark. She was standing in the hallway, still as a statue, one leg held at a strange angle. Her silhouette looked wrong in the dark, hair covering her face. Then she took a step, and another, slowly dragging that crooked foot across the floor. I yanked the handle again. The door rattled but stayed shut. She kept coming, closer, closer. I could hear her breathing now, close, slow and uneven, almost right against my face. Then the door flew open. I stumbled backward onto the porch. For half a second, I just stood there, expecting to see her in the doorway, but the hallway was black and empty. Then I heard something move inside. That was enough. I ran. I threw myself into the car, dropped the keys once. My hands were shaking so badly I could barely start it. When the engine finally turned over, I looked at the house one last time. The front door was open. No one there. I drove anyway. Fast. Too fast. Every few seconds I checked the mirror. The road behind me was empty. No headlights, no movement. After a minute or two, my breathing started to slow down. I thought maybe I'd made it. Then the car passed under a street light, and for a split second, the back seat lit up. She was sitting there, silent, motionless, hair hanging over her face, hands folded in her lap, too neatly, as if she'd been there the whole time. I felt my blood go cold, but before I could turn around, she slowly lifted her head and smiled.